So when you look at Dr. Wallach's products then, is it just the theory and his experience that makes it different, or does he actually do things in the production of it that set these products apart?
Well, both. Dr. Wallach and Youngevity do a lot of things that set them apart from every other company. And I think, to me, it's a combination of two things. Number one, the research that informs the recipes is unmatched. I mean, how can any company compete with $25 million of federally funded research over 12 years, 26,000 autopsies, 10 million blood chemistries and histopathologies, combined with over 30 years of clinical experience with medical nutrition? Nobody can compete with that, and that's the fundamental reason why Dr. Wallach's recipes and the Youngevity formulas are so very effective. Because Youngevity has formulations that are different from every other company's formulations, and the recipe, the formulation, is everything. Now, when you marry excellent recipes based on unmatchable research and clinical experience with fantastic quality control, that's a home run, and Youngevity does both, and that's why nobody can even come close to producing the effectiveness for chronic disease that Youngevity products do.
We will be back with more of Dr. Glidden after this break.
Imagine waking up each day fully motivated, vital, and energetic, and having that unmistakable glow of great health. It is our mission to achieve overall wellness and wealth goals. Youngevity's 90 for Life supplements is fundamental to have a healthy life. At Youngevity, we are dedicated to bringing you the finest array of nutrition and lifestyle-related services to enrich your life and help you live younger, longer. Youngevity also promotes healthy-looking skin. They have mineral makeups that are 100% toxic-free, giving you a fresh, radiant, younger, natural look. Look great, feel great.
For more information, please contact Sonia Lising-Cahalan at 702-321-4211 or at soniacahalan.my90forlife.com or Jerome Season at 702-203-0699 or jeromeseason.my90forlife.com. Yes, Youngevity forever. We are back on Now You're Talking. Thank you for staying with us. Let's continue with Dr. Glidden's interview.
I know with Dr. Wallach, one of the things that I always talk with people about is because he's a veterinarian, and not just a veterinarian, the veterinarian that helped increase and double, almost triple the lifespan of our pets, that he has access to centuries and centuries and centuries of veterinarian science that most nutritional companies will never, ever even take a look at.
This is another 300-pound gorilla in the wonderful world of modern science. We are led to believe that scientists are open-minded people. And, you know, it was a big shock to me when I figured out that just the opposite is true. Most scientists become very close-minded as they march down the road of their professional career. You know, it's easy to become wrapped up in your own point of view so that you're just automatically dismissing all other points of view and you don't even know that you're doing it. A perfect example of this is the non-relationship that exists between veterinarian science and human science. Really, Dr. Wallach's $25 million federally funded research project conclusively proved that nutritional deficiencies produced extreme negative effects across species lines. It didn't matter if it was a bat, a buffalo, a boa constrictor, or a human. If there was a calcium deficiency, that animal or that person got sick, suffered, and then died. It didn't matter what species it was. And there are very few scientists, there are even fewer doctors, that are able to kind of see through the prejudice that separates these two systems of medicine. Dr. Wallach's the only one that I know that's been able to do it. So because of his open-mindedness and because of his attention to detail and fact, He was able to use all of this information from animal science and marry it with all of the research done on human nutrition. And that's the major reason why the Youngevity products are so fantastic.
And veterinarian science, I know, is always focused on results because the veterinarians don't really worry about what the animals want to buy. It's about whether or not they get results, because farmers don't want to pay extra money for things that don't get results.
Right, and there's no placebo effect, right, in veterinarian medicine. That's one thing. The other thing is, and this, again, is something that's really quite startling when you think about it. I've been doing clinical work for 22 years now with vitamins and nutritional supplements and botanical medicine. And Youngevity and Dr. Wallach is the only company and the only doctor that I've ever met, and I've met a lot of people, that teach the dose-dependent method. You know, somebody who's 100 pounds is going to need less nutrition than someone who's 300 pounds and vice versa.
Just like bigger cars need more gas.
Absolutely. You know, veterinarians know this. Veterinarians attend to this. And this is just a normal thing in veterinarian medicine, that a 3-pound dog is going to need a different formulation of vitamins than a 73-pound dog. And so they get it. It's all based on the animal's body weight. Well, Dr. Wallach is the only one that carries that over into the humans. And it's really startling to me that nobody else does this, because it makes all the difference in the world. You know, clinical nutrition produces results based on, it's a dose-dependent phenomenon. If you're not taking enough or you're not absorbing enough appropriate for your body weight, you're spitting into the wind, and you might as well not do it. It's extremely important to get enough of the stuff based on your body weight. And Dr. Wallach is the only one that's talking about that.
So when you look at high-quality supplements, what are some of the things that you look at that someone listening to this is going to be able to take and compare Dr. Wallach's products versus anything else on the shelves and see a huge difference?
Well, look, this is the problem, because the average consumer cannot do that. There's no way that anybody can tell just by looking at the label what's a high-quality product and what's not. And that's the problem. That's exactly the problem. Listen, just think about it this way. You know, let's say we want to get a vitamin C supplement, right? So first, we have to go and find the person that's extracting the vitamin C. Well, are they extracting it from oranges? Are they extracting it from sugar cane? Where is it coming from? What's the stuff that they're extracting it from grown? What are the conditions in which it's grown in? Is it organic? Is it non-organic? What are the conditions of the horticulture that goes into the growth of the raw material source? That's an important thing. What's the method of extraction? How is it stored? Where is it stored? How is it transported? Most supplements like this, vitamin C, for example, will be, extracted in South America someplace, and then it's shipped to an international holding place, and then the international holding company ships it to the United States or to Canada or wherever it goes. Then once it's in the United States, it gets shipped to the company that buys it. So the Youngevity company will buy it from a company in the United States that imported it. Now, anywhere along this supply chain, something can go wrong unless a company has all their ducks in the row. In this economy especially, companies don't want to do all of the testing and have all of the oversight necessary in order to ensure, A, that it's really vitamin C that I've received in my plant in the United States, and B, that it's high quality, it hasn't gone rancid, it hasn't been contaminated, and it's pure and potent. Most companies don't do all of the testing necessary, and so it's kind of a crapshoot.
So they just take the label at face value.
Yes.
But Youngevity doesn't do that. They actually do their own independent testing to verify that they've got the right stuff and it's the right quality.
Correct. And there's not a lot of companies that do that. But the average consumer, just looking at the label, would be completely in the dark as to whether all of this had happened or not. And the government is just not doing as good a job as they could in regulating this entire industry. That's why, I've looked at Youngevity's quality control. I've done a detailed analysis of it. I've seen what they do. And that's the only way, regretfully, that anybody will be able to determine the purity and the potency and the efficacy of any vitamin supplement. There really should be labeling requirements and more stringent labeling laws, but there just aren't.
Yeah, the FTC should be able to regulate that, but they actually don't look into most products to see whether or not what's on the label is actually in the bottle.
Well, the Los Angeles Times about 20 years ago did a very interesting thing. They sent an investigative journalist into health food stores in California. And remember, this is 20 years ago, more or less. They randomly took ginkgo biloba supplements off the shelf. Ginkgo biloba is an herb. It was very popular a couple of decades ago. It was thought to promote memory, right? And they took all these random samples of ginkgo to a lab and they tested them. 9% had nothing in it. It was filler. No ginkgo at all.
Just the label.
Just on the label. 12% of the ginkgo that they took off of the shelves in health food stores had less than half the milligram dosage that the label claimed it had. So the label said 500 milligrams per cap.
And it was under 250.
And it's a problem, right? Now, Ralph Nader's people have done similar checks on vitamin companies, and the industry is just not regulated. And because, it's a for-profit industry, companies, if they don't have integrity, are going to cut corners. They're going to test the stuff once instead of 5 times. They're going to send it to labs that just rubber stamp the samples instead of really doing valid scientific testing. There are a number of ways that you can kind of get around the quality control issue and still be able to put a supplement on the shelf and have it be in compliance with federal regulations. It's a big problem.
Youngevity actually went the extra mile and submitted their products to the FDA for review, and the FDA verified that everything that was on the label was in the product, and we actually exceeded label standards.
And that's why I love Youngevity.
One of the things I think that anybody can do to see if they have the highest quality stuff is, just like you said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating of it.
That's correct.
Whether or not they get results.
Correct.
And so if you're taking supplements and you're not getting results, in your experience, they need to switch to Dr. Wallach's products.
Well, absolutely. And I'll tell you a funny story, right? I had a patient who had a relative who owned a porta potty business in Florida. And I was having a conversation with this guy, and he said, in Florida, we call porta potties vitamin machines. I said, what are you talking about? He said, well, we go to empty them out, and out come vitamins. I said, how do you know they're vitamins? He said, we can still read the label on the vitamin. That's because the vitamins that, everybody in Florida is taking from over-the-counter sales at, GNC and vitamin stores and health food stores and supermarkets are of such poor quality that they can't digest them. So they swallow the pill and it passes right through and comes out the other end. That's a 100% a function of bad recipe and bad quality control. And this is why this absorbability issue, right, is one of the reasons why a lot of Youngevity's products are in liquid form. Because liquid vitamins are the most easily absorbable vitamins and nutritional supplements that you can get. Dr. Wallach is a genius. He made the vitamins in liquid and powder form that turns into a liquid on purpose. It wasn't by accident, and it makes a difference.
And nutrition can only help you when you absorb it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Hope you enjoyed listening to that. And if you want to order some products or CDs, please contact me at 702-321-4211 or email me at sonialc@hotmail.com. That's SONIALC@hotmail.com. And I'd be very happy to help you get hold of those incredible products. Before we go on our break, Joy, did you want to say something?
Oh, well,
they want to hear your voice.
Yeah. By the way, I'm still here. Thank you. Now, it was a great information, great interview.
Yes.
And I wanted to know, how were you able to steal a copy of that CD?
No, if you want a copy, Joy, I'm going to give it to you.
All right.
But we are going on our short break, and when we come back, we will talk to the Perrys.